Hello and welcome back everyone to another exciting episode of ToucanPlays, and welcome to another exciting news week for Monster Jam Showdown. This week we saw a new Drivers vs. Fans video drop, the release of the official Showdown Discord server, tons of new exciting features confirmed, and one of my favorite classic trucks, Excaliber, make its way onto the official Monster Jam Showdown roster. Let's go! Okay, so the Drivers vs. Fan video drop that we got this week is of Camden Murphy, driver of Bakugan Dragonoid, versus Riken, who, despite wearing a zombie shirt, insists that his favorite truck is Megalodon. Just messing with you, buddy. I actually love zombie and Megalodon as well. Before I get into the game footage, it's important to note that all of these Drivers vs. Fans videos are from a much earlier build than what we saw in last week's Summer Game Fest, so what we see in these shots are probably really outdated already. The racing track that they queue up on is a Colorado circuit map titled Golden Grove Trail in the Mountain Pass region. Just in this quick splash screen, we see a tall bridge over a ravine, reinforcing that feeling of verticality that's all over the level design that I've mentioned in other videos. We also see some more destructible drones hovering above a ramp in the riverbed below. As the race starts, we get a good look of Dragonoid and Megalodon, and we can see the tooltip prompt,
Mantieniti nell'intervallo ottimale,
which translates to stay within the optimal range. Milestone, of course, is an Italian developer, so it makes sense that all the language would be in Italian. We see that our buddy Riken is not following the advice to stay in the green optimal range. Instead, he's flooring it. Man, good for you, bud. And we can see that we're racing against Thunderoris, Sparkle Smash, Ice Cream Man, Raising Cane, the Stunt Truck, and Northern Nightmare. As the race commences, I gotta admire the graphics once again. The lighting in particular just looks absolutely fantastic. And personally, I think that Colorado is probably going to be my favorite biome to race in. I just love the colors of the trees, the mud, the reflections, the sunset. It's all just so gorgeous. We do get a glimpse of the map. Now, mind you, this is the old map, but hey, it's nice to see the full layout. It looks like there is a split path to choose early on in the track. We can go left or right, and there's a bit of an over-under section near this loop. It's got a good mix of turns and straightaways with lots of interesting choices to make. A little bit later on, we see that Megalodon has shed pretty much his whole body, and hey, that's okay. Later on in the race, the boys are basically competing for last place, and honestly, I think they've just pretty much given up on the race at this point and have started crashing into each other. It looked like they were having a lot of fun, and hey, that's really all that matters. Next event is another extreme freestyle, this time in the Arctic Glacier region of Alaska. The map is called Glacier Takedown. This is a different map than the one that we saw Tyler Menega and Henry playing in the first Drivers vs. Fans video that we saw about a month ago. I'm working on getting a full list of all of the revealed map titles and regions, but hopefully Milestone will actually reveal a full map list to us soon. Camden is up first in Dragonoid, and oh wait, what's this? Excaliber is on the list of competitors. I'm super stoked about this because Excaliber is actually one of my favorite classic trucks, and when it was revealed at World Finals last year in Nashville, I couldn't wait to see it in action. Speaking of World Finals, there is a theory being thrown around in the official ToucanPlays Discord channel that many of the trucks included in Showdown were 3D scanned at World Finals 22. ADHD, a very active user on Discord, pointed out that the in-game model of Lucas Stabilizer actually has parade handles attached to the roof. These are used to give drivers something to hold on to when they're hanging out of the door or sitting on top of the roof of the truck like they would during a parade. But they're not normally part of the truck design. Since we know that there was a big parade down Main Street in Nashville, we can assume that, at the very least, Lucas Stabilizer was scanned at World Finals. So what does all this have to do with Excaliber? Well, Excaliber was also revealed at World Finals, and much to my disappointment, really hasn't been seen since. Same thing with Big Kahuna, which we already know is also confirmed for Showdown. It seems like the devs used World Finals 22 as an opportunity to get all of the trucks scanned into the game as they could. What do you guys think? Are there any trucks left that you'd like to see in the game? Personally, I'm still waiting to see that sick hologram Bad Company to make a debut in the game. Okay, back to Camden's freestyle run. Dragonoid gets kind of a cockeyed hit on a jammer and then pulls off some huge air. And towards the end of the clip, you can see some of those mid-air driver assists that the devs have started to open up about as Dragonoid makes some interesting maneuvers before we cut back to him on the ground performing an extreme moonwalk. The camera effects here really bother me in this quick clip, but you know, I'm gonna reserve my final judgment for the time being. We then cut to Riken pulling off a front flip corkscrew something or another, which apparently blew off the whole of Megalodon's body, because in the next clip we see a naked Megalodon chassis as he attempts a backflip off of part of the Alaskan landscape. And despite my young friend failing to put up any points on the board, he still somehow manages to pull off a first place win. Way to go, Riken! Listen, I know I like to poke fun sometimes, but I really genuinely do enjoy watching these videos. They do get me excited and pumped to play the game. And really, I'm just excited for August. I cannot wait to get my hands on the controller and play Monster Jam Showdown. Now, the big news this week is the launch of the official Showdown Discord server. It started off exciting as hundreds of Monster Jam fans around the world started flocking to the server to check it out, post images of their favorite trucks, and talk about what excites them the most about the game. The official FAQ, frequently asked questions, confirmed that there will actually be two different versions of the game. The standard version, which grants access to the base game, and the Big Air Edition, which is basically the deluxe version. It includes the base game plus the season passes. No details yet on what the season passes will entail, but I did ask in the Q&A section of the Discord if the DLC will include new maps, new liveries, and new biomes, or if it would just be strictly new trucks only. And I was told basically that I have to wait patiently. So for now, I guess that's just what we're gonna have to do. Now, it is important to note that in the FAQ, it states that the digital Big Air Edition is apparently the only way to, at least for now, to get the Odd Couple DLC, which includes Backwards Bob and Big Kahuna, as well as access to the 3-day head start. The FAQ did also state that for physical pre-orders that you should check with your local retailer. And in fact, if you look on GameStop's website, you can see that they have listed that the Law and Disorder DLC is a GameStop exclusive. I know all of that seems kind of confusing, but to put it simply, if you want a physical copy, it's probably best to go ahead and pre-order from GameStop to make sure that you get both DLCs. If you're waiting for digital pre-orders like I am, and you want the Law and Disorder DLC, make sure that you get the deluxe Big Air Edition. That way you can guarantee you get access to the 3-day head start and the Law and Disorder DLC. Unfortunately, as of recording, digital pre-orders are still not available online. The devs have promised that more info on pre-orders is coming very soon, so stay tuned. In other exciting news, the FAQ also confirmed crossplay on all major platforms, of course, minus the Switch, which, guys, that is Nintendo's policy. It has nothing to do with Milestone, so don't get angry at them. Get angry at Nintendo, I guess. Speaking of multiplayer, though, the devs did confirm that 2-player local split screen and up to 8 players online for circuit races and freestyle only, not head-to-head. So no crazy racing brackets or anything like that. In freestyle, players will also be ghosted to avoid collisions, which I get it for trolling and for optimization purposes, but it does kind of disappoint me because, man, think about the mayhem of 8 Gravediggers or Max Ds rushing the track, crashing into each other. It would be glorious. We also get an answer regarding the chassis. Some trucks will be represented visually with different chassis models. For example, Maximum Destruction will be on a Willman with the engine block in the front. Backwards Bob is thought to be on a PEI. Avenger, we're assuming, is going to be on a CRC. Unfortunately, though, all trucks will handle exactly the same. So regardless of the chassis, it makes no difference as far as handling goes. That's unfortunate, but it is pretty much what I expected. Remember, guys, this is not a sim, and it's definitely not being designed by Monster Truck experts here. They are doing their very best they can with the time and the resources that they have available, but it's just not going to be BeamNG. We've got to accept that fact. And on that same note, it was also revealed that pretty much like what we all expected, there will be no mechanical damage to the trucks. That means no tires flying off, no broken tie rods or shattered shock columns. Apparently, Feld has taken kind of a hard stance against this in previous Monster Jam games, which I'm not sure exactly why this is the case. It could just be to keep the fun going and not to have to deal with stopping and doing repairs. Or it could be that they really just don't want to associate Monster Jam with violence or danger or destruction. Either way, watching huge trucks smash, crash, and break apart into a million little pieces, that has been a Monster Jam staple pretty much since its inception. So I'm not sure why they would want to hide that fact in their video games. All right, guys, we got a few more clips from the official Milestone TikTok account. This first clip, I don't know if this is a meme or what, but it's strange to say the least. You've got this guy here getting ready to start grooving, and the caption reads, me when the engine roars to life. And you've got Zombie in the background starting a race on the now familiar Alaska circuit track. There's nothing really new to glean from the background video, but the guy in the foreground, he's really kind of cringe, to be quite honest. The next clip is of a naked chassis. The caption reads, "Faring on point until things get real." And then we cut to Zombie getting launched off of a ramp in Death Valley. I have no idea what triggers this launch, but he definitely gets sent flying. Then in a bunch of quick cuts, we see Zombie ramming into Raising Cane, parts just sloughing off of him. Zombie being pushed along sideways by some mystery truck, and then some more racing in Death Valley. Nothing terribly exciting. The next clip is Zombie racing again in Alaska, slamming into Thunder Roars, knocking more parts off, and then briefly going in the wrong direction, doing a backflip inexplicably. Then we see Zombie slamming into the glacier barrier and going flying high into the air. And then just a few more quick cuts of the race. All right, the last clip was released actually just yesterday. It shows Gravedigger taking a nice ride through the desert in Death Valley with the caption reading, "Grandpa driving," and then picking up the pace a little as it reads, "Dad driving." And then we cut to me driving, and then Gravedigger hitting a huge boosted ramp and swallowing up massive air. You can see the nitro boost flames coming out of the exhaust pipe as he flies with the Eagles. Insert the obligatory floaty physics complaint here. Overall, guys, there's nothing really too terribly exciting coming out of TikTok, but we do still have 2 more Drivers vs. Fans videos to break down. We have a freestyle video that I want to break down before the next in the set of 4 videos come out. In the meantime, though, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Be sure to check out the video that you see on your screen right now. And hey, we'll see you guys on the flip side. Later, everybody. Bye. Okay, so the official, oh my gosh, I can't talk.